You good?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
I'm very good, man. You been busy?
Busy, mate. Yeah, busy as ever. In fact, it's actually got busier for me.
Has it?
Since lockdown, yeah.
That's
Because everyone just seems like old content turning around and stuff. So it's mental, bro. You be?
I bet you've got loads of content anyway because you've just been filming constantly for like the whole year or so, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just been loads. But I wanted to start on a few like personal projects, but that was my idea when quarantine came about, lockdown came about. I thought I'll start doing some I'll start putting, do you know, like you've done with your content. I was going to start tying like most of that together and seeing if I could put a narrative behind it. And then the first week, just work started flying in. So like, it makes no sense.
I mean, it's a good thing, I guess, because you're still getting paid, right?
Yeah, exactly. Still making money, though, so can't complain, man.
So I just wanted to kick off with kind of like the timeline of your career. So going way back to CLB films, how did that start? Like, what was your idea when you first started out?
Well, I had a couple of channels before CLB Film.
Oh, really?
That was the third one. I'm not even saying names of them though, because they're proper cringy. I used to make Call of Duty montage videos. So I used to play Modern Warfare, like the old Modern Warfare. I used to make montage videos, and then I got bored of it, really. Just got bored of like not having full control over the scene, as you can imagine. So then, like my dad said, I'll get you a camera if you go out and film. So I started filming lampposts, like going out to a local skate park, filming down there.
Yeah.
And just started building stories out of what I was filming. Obviously, I knew about editing already with the Call of Duty stuff. So that was it really from CLB Film. That's where that began.
As if so, it went from Call of Duty to then getting a camera and just going for it.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, but I thought I was like proper good at editing because I'd been doing it for like 6 to 12 months before I started CLB Film.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm pretty decent at editing, so that'll be a breeze. But then when you bring in like footage and frame rates and like aspect ratios and all that stuff, obviously I didn't have a clue because with Call of Duty you just drag your clip in. So it was mad, different, completely different.
So from there, what project really got you out there? Because I know you worked with some very interesting people in the past few years. Like, what would you say that really pushed you in terms of creativity and in terms of client base as well?
I think all of it. I don't think there's a specific project that I can pull out, pinpoint that was the one that somebody went, that's good. I think it was just a combination of all the work put together, and people get like I'd had certain people that were keeping an eye on what I was doing. Like I'd get messages off them saying your work's really good, and I knew these were like very influential people.
Yeah,
that were already like high up in the industry. So it was just a matter of time really. After receiving messages, I just used to keep trying to advance everything I did, and I'd never stay in one position. It'd be like if I had an idea in my head, it were happening, and if it wasn't happening, I was finding an alternative to making it happen. So it was all that. Yes, but the music stuff played a massive part. Obviously, doing a lot of local rappers and singers and bands and whatever. That played a massive part because when it came to like making the first step into like the big world of music sort of thing, I already had an idea of how it all worked.
Yeah.
Even though we're doing it on a much smaller scale in Bradford and Leeds, it still has the same format in the big world. Like, same thing. All the artists are doing the same thing, just on a bit of a bigger scale. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. So how did because I want to talk about that a bit later on because obviously it's very interesting. But how did you manage to get in contact with Adidas, and how was it on set? Because that was an amazing video when you first did that.
Oh yeah, that was mad. Like that for me, that was the one where I was like, wow, like we've proper taken it up last year.
Stepped up the level there, bro. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a mad difference. But that video came about through Keane Shaw, who was a producer. So Keane's a producer. He's a director now as well. but he worked for a production company that I was like doing bits and bats for back then, which obviously the production company were called JJ Stereo at the time. They've changed to a different production company now. But I were working with them doing like camera operating stuff, so a lot of music stuff. I'd go on like tours and do like pick-up shots for them and things like that. And I met Keane through them, and Keane was very like interested in moving forward in football, cinematography and producing. And it just came about that he had like a great contact at Adidas. So it was more of a collaboration with Keane more than anything. Like I wouldn't say it was a self project like that I went and sourced myself. It was just a collaboration of young creatives coming together, and then that just like sort of that set the benchmark then, because I could use moving forward from the back of Adidas. I used to use that then to approach new clients, and I'd say, well, I've like we've shot this for Adidas,
100%.
and yeah,
you would
do that. So that was that was a big pivot. That was a big pivoting point. In terms of the whole filmmaking process, I wouldn't say music as much because people weren't really interested, other than the fact that it had Stormzy in it. Like obviously that was a talking point. When I eventually met Stormzy, I was like, yeah, obviously, like he didn't even recognise me. I was like, well, we shot that video like Printworks in London.
As if, mate. Yeah. How was it on set though? Was it like completely different? And what was your role? Did you say you was camera operator? We're helping out on camera operator.
I was like DOP, so I was like, to be honest, mate, on a project like that, it's hard to pinpoint what people are doing because there were only 3 or 4 of us.
Oh, really?
Involved in a commercial for Adidas. Okay. So it's like you take a part of it all on. Oh, so you're like, so he's like, I need you to come shoot this thing for me. He's keen, and he said, oh, I've got this idea. So I turn up with my camera, and then I turn up and like. it's a blank slate. Yeah. So I'm like, nothing to take away from him, but he had the contacts and he had all the other and all the whatever else you need to make that production happen. But when I turned up, I was like, right, this is how it needs to sort of be in terms of. I think we should have him walk down this corridor with this sort of lighting, and then Keane just was like, yeah, thumbs up, all works for me, and then that's how it all came together. But yeah, DOP, I'd say. I wouldn't go as far as to say I would direct it because everybody had their own input.
Yeah, of course. But it's kind of good that you had creative control over such a big project, really and truly, because not many people really have that. So that was kind of a blessing as well.
Yeah, and that's purely just down, not taking away from the hard work that I did put in, but a lot of it is purely about being in the right place at the right time. Because if you know what you're doing,
100%,
the question's always going to arise of. Connor, can you do this? And you're just going to go, yep, because you've already done your research and you know how to do it and you're in the room at the time.
100%. You got to perform, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's when the pressure rolls through.
Shortly after that, well, I don't know how long it was after that, but it seemed very shortly after that, you ended up getting in contact with Liam Payne and ended up going on tour with Liam Payne.
It was a while. It was about another 2 years after that.
Oh, really? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
It feels like the Adidas video only dropped yesterday. It feels so like...
Oh, no, Adidas video were like 20... I'm sure it was like 2016, 2017 times or something.
Bloody hell, time flies.
Like, no, it was 20... I think it was 2015, you know. It was a lot. It was a while back. Yeah, that was a while back, that. But it was... A whole, like, dimension of my life changed between Adidas and Liam. I ended up moving to Cyprus. I was living in Cyprus for a year.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I set up the wedding business in Cyprus, which isn't really my thing. Never really was, but it was a bread and butter business. And like you know yourself, when you shoot daily, turning around weddings is like light work because it's a case of just capturing the moment. You don't really need to build a story as much. It's about capturing the moment and just pulling it all together, which for me at the time was just it was a bread and butter, and I got to live in sunshine. Yeah. So Liam job came about after the wedding business. So I was living in Cyprus, and Liam's manager found me through that production company that I was telling you about there, who I met Keane. So if you think about it, it all boils down to like knowing one set of people.
100%.
So they got in touch and said, his manager got in touch and said, I need somebody to do content for this artist. Didn't know who it was at first. I need somebody to do content for this artist. And I was like, yeah, I want to give it a shot, because I wasn't working in music as much at the time, and I felt like I was missing a big part of my life out.
100%. That's what you started out to do, really, wasn't it? Music videos.
Yeah, that was my passion. So when that came up, I was like, yeah, like this is my like dream, to do this, to travel and I didn't know it was going to be what it was at the time. Like, I didn't know that, we're going to end up moving to London and then traveling like the world with an artist. Like, I thought it was just going to be a low key, like doing a bit of work but getting by sort of thing.
Yeah.
But still being in music, and it had given me, you know, enough of a foot in to then branch out and work with other artists. But it ended up being like a whole like madness in my life. That couple of years,
man. I want to hear it. So how? I know, like the first month you started working with him, you was here, there, and everywhere. New York, literally every time I was talking to you, you was in a new place.
Yeah. Well, at the time when I first started working with him, it was proper busy, because that's why they needed me anyway, because he was doing that much stuff. They needed content of it all. So I was like, right. I think the first day I got there, like a week later, they were like, oh, you're going to America for like the rest of the year? I was like, what? It was like, yeah, you're going to start off in LA, and then you're going to work. It was a mad like couple of months I spent in America. That first few months of working with Liam, pretty much, and because we were together all the time, we built up a friendship, and it was like a brotherhood sort of thing that we were building there. I wouldn't go as far as to say we looked at each other as family at that point, but it was like, right, on the road, you don't really have much. For me, all I had was my camera, a team, and then somebody that I got along with, which was Liam. We had everything in common. We were the same age, pretty much, and we were traveling world together. So we're obviously going to like click, and that's basically it, really, for that sector.
I remember that convo like it was yesterday as well, because I remember you sent me because I went to Mexico with your cousin, which was, thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, mad.
Thank you for that. That was sick. That was a good time. But I remember you saying, oh, I've got a meeting with Liam Payne, blah, blah, blah. And you was a bit like conscious about it. And I was like, look, just be yourself. And then look at you now, you're like best mates near enough.
Yeah, we just built that up. But it took a long time, though, obviously, to lose the wall and the barrier, because
100%.
For him, I was a new character in team. And for me, I was like, this is like completely something I've never experienced out like this in my life. I've come from, obviously, like yourself, I grew up in Bradford, and it's a big, fast world that I've just been introduced to, and I didn't really know what had hit me until a couple of months in. And then I was like, wow, this is like mad. I need to settle it down a bit.
But that's what I like about you take risks. Because literally a job in itself is a handful. And especially not kind of knowing full force like what it is you're actually doing. You just get chucked into it. I feel like you dealt with it very well. So what is it that you're actually doing with Liam? Because I know you're doing quite a few things, and I know you've worked on a music video with him, if that's correct. Correct me.
Yeah, I directed his latest music video.
Yeah.
So at first it started off quite. I've never really had a job role. Like it's they've never really pinpointed you do this for Liam. Like, and I've always like sort of determined my own role in the team depending on what I'm doing at the time. Like I've been through stages. When I first started with him, it was like strictly content per week, and like I was just gathering content. There were no like, and the thing that what were brilliant about it was there were no pressure. It wasn't as if like you need to turn around this by this date at that point. Like it was like go with him, build up a relationship, and film whatever you want to film, and then let's come back and review it. And like over time, obviously, we started seeing the strong points in what I was doing, and the photography game started really picking up, because I'd never done photography. I had, but not like professionally until I met Liam. That's when I first started. Like, Maggie, are you on the Wi-Fi? No. Yeah. The Wi-Fi where I live's terrible. It's proper crap. If you have more than one device.
Are you based in Bradford now? Are you down south still?
Oh no, I live in Silsden. Me and my girlfriend have got a house in Silsden.
I don't know where that is, but it sounds nice.
It's near Skipton. It's not far. It's not far.
Yeah.
Still a Bradford postcode. What was I saying? Where I got to?
Is it about like you kind of didn't have a role with Liam Payne, which I think was brilliant. Like it's kind of good because you're doing something different every time. That's what you want.
It's whatever you want to do. I think nobody ever really put a pinpoint and said you need to be doing this. Like, yeah, obviously I was going to be supplying content for social media and stuff. Like that was always a thing. Like I'm traveling with him, so it's stupid not to like be putting together little bits and bats for social media, and that's sort of what kept the train going with the content. But what stood out to me massively were him just letting me have sort of freedom, and the management letting me have freedom, and the photography, like I said, took a massive like leap, and that came on leaps and bounds because I could shoot whatever I wanted. Yeah. So like, right, I always had Liam on side, so he'd want to shoot with me anyway. So I had like first hand on deck solution, like fast track to becoming a photographer. And then I had like a billboard within a year, like Times Square billboard.
And you also worked with New Balance as well, didn't you? Doing photography, like that's a big step.
There were a few bits, like a few little side projects that I did whilst I were in that section there, where I was just building up the photography. And it just came off with like being in the right place at the right time. Like the another one was Panda. Panda. What's he called?
Designer.
What's he called?
Designer, I think.
Designer. Yeah. Like Designer. I'm in the radio station with Liam one night. He's recording this thing for the radio station. Designer walks in. I was like, bro, can I take a still? Like, as he walked past me, he was like, yeah, man, do your thing. I was like, oh, just stand against that white background there. And like, I shot Designer in the thing, like, just like that. And then a photo there, like, everybody lapped it up. And then that's a photo that I've got forever now. I can use that on my portfolio forever. And if you looked at it, you probably wouldn't, like, you wouldn't see any difference between that and a photo studio picture.
Yeah, that's
because it was just against a white backdrop, and then I just like cleaned it up a little bit, and that is mad.
So you're thinking ahead as well, so you just saw the opportunity and thought, I can use this later in life because end of the day, it looks good as a portfolio if it's a photo of design.
Yeah, well, you're going to get artists like that. You just like, well, I can't pass up on this opportunity. Like, and the same thing happened with J Balvin and Liam when they did Familiar together. Like at that point, I would just start shooting BTS. Like I was just shooting BTS, and I was like, oh, I want to get some stills of you guys. So I was like, can you two stand against this wall here? I shot the still, and then I sent the stills off afterwards. And then next news, they're like, oh, it's going to be the single cover. And then 2 weeks later, it's on Times Square billboard. I was like, what? Bro, I'm in Dubai these times. I'm sat in Dubai and I get a phone call saying, you're getting used for like the official single artwork, and you're going to be on the billboard in a few weeks. Obviously, I'm there like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's amazing, honestly.
Mad, bro.
You know as well, I've been following you from fucking college. I've been following you for time. Like I used to look up, well, I do look up to your work still. Like you're the person I've always said, people always say, oh, who inspires you? And I always say, I know it sounds like I'm licking your ass, but it's just the truth. And I'm pretty sure I've said it to you bare times, that Conor Butler. Every single time. Just a guy from Bradford, Conor Butler. Yeah, no one massive, no Spielberg, or no that bullshit. Like a local lad that inspired me to do this. Like you did, for real. I want to know how you did the music video during lockdown. I know you had the interview with BBC. How did that come about?
So it was a thing where this track had been made. The track had been made already before lockdown, and Liam and Alesso had this like idea that they wanted to make a music video to get out there for the fans to like get a positive message going. So it was sort of an ideas bouncing back and forth between everybody with the label, Lesso, Liam, and like hats off to them guys, like they really made it happen in terms of doing all the right things at the right time down in London and over in LA. Like it was a speedy process to turn it around and get it out there. But from my perspective, it was just orchestrating it from home, really. So making sure that it was shot on the right settings and the right gear, in the right areas. Like, because I knew, and obviously I know Liam's house, and I know I don't know Lesso's house, but I knew that he should have some sort of studio there, like because he's a music producer, and so he's going to have a studio. So I just used my initiative really in terms of how to bring it out, to pull it all, to tie it all together, and then I got all the footage delivered back, and then sort of created like the best I could out of that. But I was already like thinking about what's at the time, like when I was chatting to the label, I'm thinking about what's the best way to send a positive message whilst being in quarantine, because it would have been quite easy for us to just go, right, one, we'll wait till quarantine's up and shoot a banger, or two, we'll just put the music video out there and not really have that positive message behind it. Like that could have been the two options. But yeah, it worked out fine. It worked out great, man. Like everybody seemed to love it and that.
Yeah, the song is banging as well. I love the song.
And obviously I got directing credit on it as well, which means like that means more to me than anything, mate. Like 100%. Anything.
It's credit over everything. I've always said this, and it's what I always say to people. Like, I prefer credit over anything, over getting obviously. And you need to get paid to pay bills at the end of the day. But I'm on about exposure means much more to money to me than anything else.
Especially if it's the right exposure. That's important, because you'll get people that, I'm not saying you've surpassed needing their clientele, because you're never gonna you're always gonna use your little jobs to keep you. But if you have like somebody that's running I don't know, like just put it out there, like a sandwich shop, and they're like, oh, can you come shoot me an advert for my sandwich shop? And then you've got to have a little bit of a think about it and go, well, hang on a minute, like, what am I doing this for? Like exposure of like what? But
Conor shop is a bit more different to Liam Payne.
That's why you need to be good with business as well, because the whole business side, being a sole trader and being self-employed is just as much about the business as it is about the work.
100%, 110%. So, like, after speaking about all this madness that you've been doing, is it everything you dreamt of? Is it like the epitome of? I know you've got other goals, and it's probably just like the starting point of where you actually want to be. But like, is it what you dreamt of?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the world. Like, that's mad. I know you've done some traveling as well, which is amazing. Like, it's so good when you're traveling, isn't it? It feels great to get out there and see the world. That's amazing. Like, I've ticked off a lot of things that I've wanted to do in terms like I've ticked off things that I didn't think that were ever possible, to be honest. I didn't think I were ever going to shoot the billboards. I've got 3 now. Shot 3 billboards in the past 3 years. And then I've done the music. Two music. I've done the 5 Sauce music video, which got 1 billion views online. Like that's my biggest one so far. And then I got the Liam one, which is now like that's performing well. That's picking up. So them 5 like achievements there. That's I could have never dreamt of doing them when I were at uni or school, because I didn't think it was possible. I thought people like that's stuff that you see on TV and that, like, I didn't think that, oh yeah, that will be me creating that at one point. Like, you never think that, do you? But it's there's a long way to go though. There's definitely a massive way to go, because even now I'm like, sometimes not being an arsehole about it, but sometimes I'll wake up and I'll think, oh, like I've not even achieved anything yet. Like, I'll think to myself, I've not even scratched the surface of what I want to do yet.
You always want to it's just installed in you. I think it's a good mindset to have. Although it can be a bit damaging, don't be too hard on yourself.
It gets you mad, man. It gets you mad, bro, because it's a thing about, like, I won't go into mental health and things like that, but the amount of sleepless nights creatives have, and you'll vouch for it as well, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
over self-satisfaction, work satisfaction, being at a standard like bro, I'm not gonna lie, it took me 6 years to be financially stable enough to be able to get my own house. Like, and who can say that's not like hard work and hustle? Like, I didn't wake up one day with a camera in my hand and I was like, I had a house of my own and everything. Like, it takes a long time regardless of what industry you're in. It's just remaining positive. But even like now, I've not got my dream house. So what am I going to be aiming for? Like, I want the next step. Like, it never ends, bro. So it's just have always a constant battle with yourself and a fight with yourself.
100%. And it is hard. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I guess it's kind of like finding a balance as well, because you want to be happy at the same time, which when you're always striving for more, that can obviously definitely affect that side of things. I was actually watching the podcast, Logan Paul's podcast. I don't know if you watch it. They talked about Impulsive, it's called. And it was on about, would you rather have $1 billion instantly, like in a day, or happiness? And like Logan was like on the verge of saying $1 billion, and then obviously his other guys were like happiness, because ultimately when you're always chasing for numbers or something that you want more of, because as soon as you have $1 billion, you want 5 billion, and then when you got
it's never ever going to be enough ever, because like you become accustomed to it.
100%. So you're just always chasing something for kind of nothing really, because you're not getting satisfied at the end of the day. Unlike happiness, when you find happiness, it's kind of like you can then implement that. Once you find, I think you should find happiness before you should chase financial.
I think it goes hand in hand, bro. I think if you are passionate about something and you're happy, it does come, because you attract the positive energy, and once you attract positive energy, then the money comes. The financial sort themselves out, because like all hard work's rewarded.
100%.
Even if you do come across your crooks and your thieves and whatever else along the way, like you're always, mate, it's never a smooth journey for anyone in life.
No, of course.
Like, you're always going to come across your people that are going to try and make money off your back and all these things, like
100%.
But at the end of the day, if you remain happy, you remain positive, there's going to be somebody that wants to have you back and wants to say, right, you're actually a good lad, or you deserve a good opportunity at this.
And I think
finances come.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it kind of, like you said, goes hand in hand when you love what you do as well. It's like, we love our jobs, especially like, I think creative people are probably would be the most happiest doing what they do, because we love doing what we do.
Yeah. Other than the self-satisfaction thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you're like, wow, like I know I've got so much in tank, but I'm just not putting it out there.
Like 80% of the time, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Like, even if I do like obviously get annoyed sometimes of a project, or I'm not fulfilled with something, like I'm still happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
it makes you happy creating like that. The stuff you create, it puts a smile on your face and it makes you feel fulfilled.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
So like, wrapping it up, what's next for you? And in terms of like, I know you spoke briefly on the phone, I don't know if that still stands, about building some sort of community or some sort of business up north. So yeah, what's next?
At the moment, I'm torn between a couple of things, because I'd like in my mind, like I feel like I want to get a community going and a collective of creatives to all drive one big like system out of the north.
Yeah.
So we have like films in production, all music videos are like in-house. There's no real not competition as such, but there's no real bickering and stuff between different creatives, because we know that we all fall under one thing and we all get what we deserve out of it. Because as you'll know, like there's a big thing about undercutting and value for work and all this stuff, which I've heard you speak about before on one of these podcasts actually. So it's one of them where like, if you're all in the same, like you're all under the same, not name as such, but you're all running under the same like agency thing, you're all making the same you're all making the same money, so you're all happy, you're all equal, leveled out. And then once all that comes to a level, then we try to take on south.
Yeah.
Like, not in terms of competition, but we'll like say we'll reach out for clients down there.
Yeah.
So on between doing that and I've got like a project that I'm working on at the moment, like a weekly thing, which is like taking up a lot of time. Like, that's why, sorry, I was a little bit late to this
It's
to
all
this
right.
thing. It's just it does absorb a lot of your time.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult at the moment. But that's what I'd like to do next. And I want to see some more at World, man. I've seen quite a bit now that I've travelled, but I want, like, you cut your travels short on because of down.
Absolutely good.
Yeah, I bet you will, man. It's horrible. Having to come back and see your family is nice, though. Like, coming back and seeing your family and catching up. So it might have been like a blessing in disguise, mate. The fact that broke up your travels a little bit. Like, after this, you can go off and do your thing.
I think I would advise traveling, bro. Honestly, it changes everything, especially when you travel in countries like India and places like that, because it's like a whole different. It shouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be living in a world that there's countries like that anymore. But it does humble you a lot, and it teaches you a lot.
Yeah,
it's cliche as fuck, but it's true.
That's what I've never done, really. I've never really done it like that. I went to Marrakesh last year. We did Marrakesh, and that was
she's mad, bro. Jeez, bro. Even like Marrakesh is
India,
I say. Marrakesh, mate, was.
It was what?
Marrakesh is worse than India, I believe. Like, just because, like, I think the people are different. I think when I went to Marrakesh, the first day I was there, like, I won't say we got in fights, but like, we aggressively had to say no, like, a lot of times. And people there, they hate it. Like, they get a bit.
That minute, like, I don't know what it is, but because my girlfriend's like bright blonde hair, short, petite girl, like, mad, mate. Every like thing we walked down in markets and stuff, there was like, what were they calling you, babe? They'll call it all Britney Spears and all sorts. Like, I was like, wow, these aren't holding back at all, and like, they're trying to grip her and stuff.
Yeah.
We luckily we were like a big old boy, like, we were a big brute, and he was just, all they had to do was look at him. It was just like, they were like, nah, I'm not entertaining that.
Yeah, it's mad, mate. It's mad.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, Thailand and India, not mad.
Yeah,
all them places.
India's lovely, mate. India's so nice. Like, the people are so nice.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That might be on my bucket. That's one thing that's probably on my bucket list.
Yeah, 100%, man. But the best thing about everything that you said in terms of business, like, what's next? Best thing about that is you're still young, so you haven't got to like figure it out kind of now, because you're still very young.
Yeah, I rushed it a bit, me, as well, to be honest with you, because, like, one thing I will say to a lot of creatives is a lot of them get twisted in, like me. I got twisted in this whole thing of, I need to be at the next step yesterday. Like, there's no, like, I don't give myself time to sit down and think about how I'm going to approach the next thing. I just do it. I just jump into it. And like, for me, I was like, I need a house. Like, I'm getting to that point where I need a house. And like, I bought a expensive car and like all these things because I seen that other people were doing that. But what I will say to a lot of creatives is, hold out, man. Don't rush into buying shit and like putting yourself out. Because for me now, I'd be in such a better position if I'd have just said, right, I'm gonna hold out off all the things that are nice. Like, obviously we all want nice things. Like, we're bred into it. Like, we do want nice things. Don't buy them. Just hold out and just keep the progression going. Like, that's what I'd say. And don't rush into shit. Like, don't be one of them that rushes into it all like I did. That's a mistake. That's one thing I regret about the past like 4 years of my life, is being impulsive.
I think that's great advice, to be fair. Like, I know this is kind of a bit irrelevant to the podcast, but I'm looking to buy a house. Would you recommend?
It completely depends on where you are, bro. Like, for yourself, because one thing that will change. Are you living at home now with your parents?
Yeah, and I think it's just, I've wanted to move out for the past like year, but
I'd say rent for a bit first. I'd definitely say rent for a little bit. I know it's dead money. Like, everybody says renting is dead money, but it gives you rent somewhere cheap, like a 1-bed apartment or something, just to build yourself into it. Because once you're in there, like if you go and buy a house now, that's like everything's just gonna go bang. Like you've got solicitors fees, you've got like all like there's mad amount of shit. Mad amount of shit. You got everything to consider, and then let alone the mortgage. Like just moving into a 1-bed apartment and just having bills alone is a lot. Like that is a lot to take on for somebody that's never done it before.
Yeah.
But I'd suggest just starting small. Like goes back to the thing of me being impulsive again, like buying I bought a brand new car straight off the showroom and stuff. Like it wasn't needed at the time, but because I felt like I had to live up to this persona of what I've built myself, like, oh yeah, he's doing well, he's working with these set people and stuff. Don't matter. Like it's irrelevant at the end of the day. If I drove a van round, I'd be the same person.
Does it really and truly, like I said?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But buying obviously is a big thing, man. It's a big thing that like it's something that you should spend at least a few years building towards. Like even looking. So if you do feel like you want your own space, then I'd just say rent an apartment for a bit, even if it's just a little furnished apartment, and then like build up your own furniture over time. Like if it's furnished already, or even if it's unfurnished, like just start by buying little bits and parts. Like you've got a TV and all that, so you're already halfway there. It's just like you need your essentials like fridge, freezer, and washer and stuff.
Fair enough.
But yeah, man, that's it. That's what I'd say for buying.
Yeah, it makes sense, kind of. It's just because it's a perfect opportunity. In fact, I might just talk about this and stop recording and just talk about this separately.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Whatever. Because I'm chilling anyway. I've got no on now.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time, mate. Honestly, it's been great to speak to you.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. It's nice, man, and well done with the podcast and stuff, because it's new and it's a fresh thing that like no one up north's doing this really, and it's nice, man. It's nice.
I think it's good for the community as well, because a lot of other creators can see the insight and see the mindset of others, like, and a lot of the time we kind of have the same values, but they're not. I feel like they feel so much pressure about what other people think. So it's kind of good speaking to them and getting that knowledge into them. Like, look, but do you believe in what you believe in, and don't worry about what other people are going to say, because ultimately whatever you believe in is going to benefit you in the long run.
Yeah. That's it, man.
So it's good speaking to people, man.
Yeah,
nice. Thank you again, and we'll definitely stay in touch. Once all this is over and done with, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll have to collaborate. We'll have to collaborate on a project, bro. We'll have to get something fresh.
It's been long overdue.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Take it easy, bro.
Nice one, yeah, and you.